Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
C'est autissement, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas bloqué nous. Quand il y a Sylvie, il a quoi qui j'ai vu presse. L'Amérique n'a pas bloqué, t'as bien de moi avec moi, en ce moment, on va battre au moins, on t'a dit, t'as mouillé, on s'est battu pour moi, il Abela lo kan yo. Ka go so adu lo. Hey. Awaye. Ati o lo a. Ìyàwó Abela lo kan yo. Níbi tó jọba yìí, níbi tó yànba, máa ti sùn ọ̀fẹ́ yóò. Mọ́lájà jíjí, wọ́n pè sàmẹ́ fọ́sí o, sí ti kọ́lẹ̀. L'animateur Choco Nostra y'a scène de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson Tola, Pub Radio. I hope I'm audible enough. For some reason, I hope you guys can hear me. Thank you for tuning in again tonight. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. It's a wonderful thing to have you on here again tonight. Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible because I can't hear myself here, so I'm assuming that I am audible. I hope. But okay, I am. So thank you again for a wonderful day. Safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again for this wonderful time. Lord, because of you, we are here. You brought us here. You're keeping us here. We say thank you. We ask you to be here some more. My Lord, we ask that you continue to guide us, bless us. You give us the opportunity, bless us. Liberian diaspora, my Lord, you know they have two tables. One table here in the diaspora and another table back home where they have to feed. And because of the opportunity that you are giving us, we're utilizing that opportunity effectively with your blessing, with your guidance, with your protection. We're here. My Lord, only you that have that power to do this to us and for us. And because of that, we will continue to come in public and ask you for your help. We are not ashamed of you because we know those of you that follow you, we know your power. We know what you're capable of doing. We know what you have done for us. My Lord, I can stay here for 2-3 hours and just tell the people what you have done for me and continue to do. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful weekend. Thank you Thank you for what happened on Monday, my Lord. You guided me. Oh, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I put all of them in your hands. They are in your great hand. My Lord, we're here again tonight to talk about our country. As we come out to discuss, we ask, my Lord, that you guide our thoughts. You guide what comes out of our mouth. We're human beings like any other person. But my Lord, we ask as we come here to open our mouth, if the jealousy, the hate, the anger, the jealousy and the hatreds and everything else that comes with us as human beings, if they bring themselves up here tonight, my Lord, I ask you to please take complete control and help us, guide us. My Lord, we ask that you bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia, bless the people of the Republic of Liberia, bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia, bless President Bakai, bless his hands, my God, guide him. You put him there for a specific purpose. Guide him. Guide him. We ask that you continue to bless the whole nation of the Republic of Liberia. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, this is what we're going to be doing tonight. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. For those of you that are tuning in, we ask that please share this video as much as you can. Share it to as many people as you can, and so that we can have all of those brothers and sisters tuning into us tonight, because it's very important. So I would say from the get-go that we, those of us that supported this government coming to power and still support this government, were different from the sycophants of the CDC. We are not. We're not. I said, what are they going to do to me? They would tell me, say, I will not get you a job. No. But if they do something good, I will be on this platform and sing. And y'all saw me. I used to dance for President Baka here. Hey, I can still dance. Nothing happened. God has given me the strength. I can still dance. But at the same time, if I see something that is not right, I will say so. Why? Because I'm the liberal. I'm evolving. I don't get stuck in one position. And so it is with this government, with the entire government. But it seemed to me, though, that the judiciary are now getting a little bit above the water, so to speak. Corruption is everywhere. People we trusted, they are not doing what we thought they would do. But we have to be careful when we make this pronouncement in public, that we don't turn the anger of these people against our lawmakers, against any other person. We have to be responsible as we denounce this behavior. We shouldn't use their behavior, their rotten behavior, as though we are now sending Liberians to go and attack other Liberians. Let us be responsible. Let us be mindful that whatever comes out of our mouth here, this mic is big. As we speak, I got over 240 some more people listening to me. And the number most likely will grow up later on. So if I say something here, I don't want to strike the anger of the Liberian people towards certain group. All that I can say is watch your senators, watch your representatives. And if they are doing something that you like, re-elect them. If they are doing something that you don't like, kick them out. No physical violence will be able to solve your problem. No amount of physical violence will be able to solve your problem. And that's not what we preach on this platform anyway. We are very mindful. Because those that are sitting in there today, they could be us tomorrow. It could be us tomorrow. Why is it that these people, these same people yesterday, they were here singing the song of accountability, singing the song of respect for one another, singing the song of making sure that we stay out of it. Folks, one more minute, please. Okay, folks. Samson told. We got family too now. We can't run our mafia tabata all day. We got family too. So the family comes sometimes, the children they come bother you. But what you say? I will say, I want children because LPR, Alfonso can't tell you Mike. Either for that one day, I can't talk to my children. Alfonso can't tell you Mike. And what kind of business? No, but on a very serious note, folks, we're not going to preach violence. Violence will not solve it. You know that. We went through it for 14 plus. What happened? What did we get out of it? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. In fact, I would say the progressive of yesterday did more for you than the civil war did for you. Because the progressive of yesterday was able to, excuse me, folks.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. Okay, folks, sorry about that interruption, but as you know, I have a lot of stuff here anyway. But no, thank you very much for staying with us still. We appreciate it. But let me go back on. And so we will not sing some praise singer here. We're not. We'll be truthful. We will be truthful. And but what we're not going to do is to incite Liberians against other Liberians. If those Liberians that are in power, if they are corrupt, Liberians that are not in power, eyes are open. All we can do is to point them out. We're not going to tell you what action to take. We're not going to incite you against them to say these are the people that you voted for yesterday. They're not doing X, Y. No, we will just tell you what exactly they're doing. You make that decision. But whatever decision you're going to make, it must be peaceful at all times. Violence is not the answer. Look, think about it. Look where you come from. Look where you come from. 50 years ago, or 60 years, or something like a Tubman, no opposition. Tubman ran. Every year, every election time, he wins by the 90, 100 vote, 100 by 100 vote, 100%. Look where we are. We're changing government. That's a huge improvement. in our lives. Like me, when I was little, I used to vote for Tottenham 4 or 5 times before the voting process is over. I go through the door, vote, Tottenham, blah, blah, blah. Yep, come back. They say, go again. I was about what, 3, 4 years old? Go again. I go, come back. Go again. I go, come back. Now, when you vote, I believe they put your finger in the ink and you show your ink. You cannot vote anymore. You're done. We have improved the system. So I'm not angry with you of how you vote. We will get out of it. Liberia is not going to remain like that forever. Liberia is not going to remain like that forever. We will get out of it. What we will tell you is what is happening. What is happening. And the thing about it is, well, if I'm correct, go sue me. If you think I'm corrupt, go sue me. And I think you want it. No, but I'm very serious now. We will tell you what is happening. I'll give you an example. So I was perusing the social media earlier today, and I came across this picture. And this picture came from the Minister of Public Works. This picture that I'm going to be putting out here came from the Minister of Public Works. And the caption was, see, what about this roadway? See how beautiful this road look, he says. And when I looked at it, first I was a little bit baffled. And then it turned into confusion, which is the same. And then it turned into anger. Then I thought to myself, no, he doesn't know much. He's not an engineer. Who will put a role like this? And the Minister of Public Works should have known better that this is a disaster waiting to happen. As you see down there, you see that building? Way over there on the left-hand side by the coconut tree there. That means the grade is going downhill. And what I want to point out to you very quickly before we go out is look at the edges. What other little building looking like taller building edge? You see that? You see how that the ground level is higher than the road itself? If it rains, where will the water get out? On both sides. And look at the ditch. If they pour out a ditch, it's just a matter of time before the water comes. They call it spray. In engineering, you call it spray. Where the water go and hit the wall over there, and it's not going anywhere. Of course, it's going to follow the profile to go downhill, but the water is so much that it's not flowing quick enough. So some of them will come back on the road as people travel. I told you from day one that these people were not doing a good job. And Grand Gideon was all over here celebrating that the road in Grand Gideon County is not better, blah, blah, blah. Let's wait until the rainy season come to an end. It's just a matter of time because it was not done right. And this is just an example that I'm going to be showing you here. Okay? This, I'm sorry, I'm not able to make it bigger. To give it more, to enlarge the photo itself. But if you look at it, the dirt they have over there is not native to this area. If you look on the side of both sides of the dirt, they brought it in from somewhere else. But they see where they build that's the same thing they're doing here. Look at the rocks in that dirt. Why they couldn't sift it? They know how to sift up palm butter, but why they can't sift to the road, the dirt, so that you will have smooth transition from one set of dirt to another when you compact them. But he has audacity to put this up on his page as a minister, and I'm friends with him. I hope he's listening to me. As a minister of public works, but he's not an engineer, so I'm not holding much to that regard anyhow. But I just thought that I'd show you this. And these are the kinds of stuff they do. And I believe the guy said he spent $22 million. And one of these days, here on this platform, I will go into depth again about this $22 million that they spent, and because they believe that they pay $1 million for 1 mile. That's how they calculate their road processing Liberia. But we'll discuss it. I just want to point this out to you. So let me go back to my regional folks. I sent the link out already, and the rescue train is not stopping. Exact time, I'm out of here. So the link is already out. You want to join in and do so. If not, I'll go ahead and talk my own tabata. Okay. So let me go on with some of the tabata that I have here. Okay. All right. So late this afternoon, there was a rumor that was going around that the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Gloria Musu Scott, has been set free by the president based on some sort of health clemency, whatever you want to term it, which is good for me. It's a wonderful thing to do because she was not feeling well. However, Sister Esther, I'm in charge now. The rescue train is running. When I'm waiting for your conservative brother then to come in, they're not stopping me. So just be ready. When you hear chun chun that the train running tonight. So no, but let me get back onto this. So the issue that I have, there were so many things that happened. There were so many rumors that happened around this death of this young girl. And I'm not saying that the death of this young girl is nothing to talk about, but there were so many people name call. There were so many leaked video and what have you. And Madam Scott herself told us that she sprayed somebody because her life was being threatened. And they said she's found guilty. So if it is just being released, not to challenge the verdict, if it is just being released based on a health issue, then I think we, the supporters, we who believe in her, we who believe in this rescue team, should shut our mouth and don't discuss it. Don't discuss it. Because if we open our mouth and say we want to discuss it, then we're going to open the door for everything to be discussed. Then the other people might have the opportunity to challenge our assertion that yes, indeed, she was not guilty. This is about law. It's not because Samson say somebody is not guilty, that's it. No. Okay? So if we believe that the president did a good job, which I do believe in, then we shouldn't be discussing it. Let's leave it as it is. The president did a wonderful job. Let's congratulate the president. Let's tell him thank you for what I believe was a lifesaver, because she was not doing well in that jail. And she's old. So by bringing her out, you're giving her the opportunity. God forbid, if God will call her home, it will be from her own confine, not from jail or whatever. But it shouldn't be our discussion point. It shouldn't be any talking point from our side. Because if we do that, those people are going to have, because you cannot do the openness to this conversation without bringing in some of the leaked tape, without bringing in some of the conversations surrounding her conviction. And if you do those things, you bring those out, then those who feel that perhaps you're trying to malign their character, they will come and defend themselves, and this whole thing going to be opening up. So if the Constitution is there, because that's not your business. You just stay where you are. Nobody invite you here. Anyhow, if the Constitution does not allow the president to do so, then we can discuss it. But for me, discussing it, just from the face of it, you're opening the door for everything to be discussed. And I believe me, the people on the other side that will want to bring the discussion on because they're not happy the way she was let out, number one. And then they will say that there's a miscarriage of justice, whatever term you want to use on that. Okay? So for me, I'm happy that she's out. I'm very, very happy that she's out. We pray that she'll be okay. And we want to thank the president for once again for using his experience and once again for using his ability to understand and be empathetic to people, many Liberians all over. That's how I want to take that one. So another tabata I want to bring out here. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be talking a lot tonight. I'm going to be doing a lot of talking tonight. Another tabata that I want to bring out here is this issue of rice in Liberia. Okay, and for me, I'm going to look at it from a different perspective. All right. I'm going to look at it from a different perspective. Okay. Oh, before I go there, let me talk about the rainy season issues in Liberia. Let me talk about that. Once again, you see, just when it comes to these kinds of issues, I'm in a perfect position. I grew up in a village. Okay. I was born in Totown. But I grew up in Mwenpliwe, say Blomley, Pekin. But I grew up not from no town, not from no villages, but from the village of Blomley or Pekin. Then, when we got to in that village, we went to the main village where we did all the brushing and what have you. So I saw a lot of those. And we were with my grandma farm is right by the creek. And this creek, I don't want to call it name because the name is a cussing language. And because of there was some issue between the Ivorian and the Liberian, those long time ago, and people there was a serious war, and the name of that creek is an insult to the Ivorians. So, but I'm not going to call the name anyway. But let's move on. But what I'm saying here is when it rains, the entire area is flooded. So how do I used to go to the village? The village, my grandma's village, she knew the area was flood area. So when they build their villages, they don't let it stay on build it way on top. You know how you put the upstep building or something like that. So what I used to do when I come from the village, I just take off my clothes, put my clothes on my head, and start swimming, go into the village. So I know those things. Now that I'm an engineer, understanding the issue of water flow, is now clear to me. Now water cannot be stopped. It's a nature. You cannot stop it. But what do we do in Liberia? What do we do in these cities? And one thing I like about us as Liberians, we just don't learn much. In the dry season, the other way and the creek way, they dry up. And you say, oh, the person come from all the way up, come jump in a house over there. Knowing full well that this is a creek way, they build. And when the person build, usually they're very smart, Liberians are very smart too. When the person build, usually they lift the building elevation, they lift it up. So this is the floor, they lift it maybe 2-3 feet and then build it. So when it rains, water doesn't just go in there, it goes around it. But when it rain heavy, like it's been doing in Monrovia, all of the alleyway for the water is all blocked up. It's like a dam. Some of these buildings act like a dam. When the water goes going down the creek, it act like a dam. So it back up. When the water come back up, those that are upriver, they're going to suffer the consequence. That's why many of these things are happening. They have purposely stop the flow, the natural flow of the water. You see water, you see fire, you see wind. You think you can't control them. Scientists have not been able to control it yet. You can manipulate it by giving another path, but the slope have to be this. You can't take water going downhill, then you say, okay, I'm going to change it. I will send it uphill. It's not going to happen. That one, you got no control over it. Okay? So the flood issue in Monrovia area and the surrounding, it's our people doing, folks. It's our people doing. Flood over one Monrovia environment, destroy Batuo Public School in Nima. It's our people do most of them. Most of them. Yes, another thing they do, and this is why these roads that these people are building will continue to have problems. When you do a pipe calculation, when you're sizing a pipe, okay, you say, okay, the whole area here, the 1 acre here, when it rains, okay, what is it? I will speak I will not speak engineering term, I will speak the real crown English. So when you the whole 1 acre of land here, they land here, when it rains, because most of the area are also grass. So the people say when the water, one drop of water, when it comes, boom, it hit the ground, it starts flowing. When it's flowing through the grass, they got a number, the number you use to calculate the speed of that one drop flow is different from the number of the you will use when they hit the like asphalt or concrete or the roof of a building, because there's nothing that's to slow it down. So that makes sense. So many of these things, these waterway and the road, when you're doing the pipe calculation, your value, your speed value is different because most of them are grass. So grass tend to slow water down a little bit more. But many of these people, they don't do that. They just look at this place and they say, oh, okay, let's just use 24 inch. You want to use 24 inch for a queue that is maybe 250 cubic feet per second, and you want to use 24 inch. So what will happen now? The 24 inch, it will carry some pipe, but when they fill, that 24 inch going, not doing anything good anymore. So what happened? The water backs out, and we saw that some time ago on Ralphie Highway. They changed the pipe. They changed the size of the pipe. The old pipe, the long time, 1950 something pipe they have in it, they did the correct calculation. And most of the time water will go through. But because of these people greed, and simply that's what it is. Because the people are so stupid. So the 48 inch is more expensive than 24 inch. Let's get 24 inch. So sometimes they keep it smart. You see, on Ralphie Highway right now, they put two 24 inch together and they think they're gonna do the same job as the 44 inch. Not quite, because you're putting them together. They are not all in the same sphere. So the water will back up. Okay. And most of the time, when those of you, and I'm saying this, watch next reading season. Right time you say the liberal is not only a political guru, but he's a good engineer, which I am. I take no bike seat to nobody. I tell you that right now. Okay, but that's not the issue. So most of these places, that when you're riding, going to Grand Gita or some other place, and you see the mud area, most of them, they're not too far from the bottom of the hill at the creek level. This is what I've been telling these people, but they're not listening to me. At the creek level. So, and here's the thing here. You see, our people, the people from the countryside, they're more educated, they're more smarter than those of us that say we want, I don't even get high school GED anyway, but most of us, the things that we know something. When it rain, the place I told you about earlier, when I used to swim to go to my grandma, their village, when the water go down, they're marking all around the trees, the higher level of the water. So whenever you walking with someone, older person, they will say, oh, 5 years ago, you see that place over there? Like when it rained, the water of the flood, that place water stop. You see way up there, and you'll see the mark of the water. Now, those people, most of the time when they were building those roads in the 50s, okay, late 40s, early 50s, when they were building those roads, I know that because I went through. There's a place where you can get the information about the highway they built from from what Tottenham Fire again Toronto, from Toronto all the way, the highway they built, the way they figured out how to size the pipes. And when I was growing up, the pipes they used, those are CMP, corrugated metal pipes. And they had the tar, black stuff, and they put it all around it. And guess what? I used to go in the pool. Not even me. We used to go ahead. God is just wonderful, man. We used to go and take the time, chew it like, oh, gum. Why would I want the pipe that I can reach the pipe and take that quota from there and chew it? Why would I want to go to a quality shop and buy gum for 2 cents, 3 cents for what? I chew that thing. There are chemicals. Do I know that? No. But God is there. Wonderful, wonderful God. No, but let's go back. So those pipes they have there, they sized correctly, and those pipes were carrying water effectively. Not one. Those of us that from the countryside. Not once did they have you heard your town, the main town, to get flooded? No. Not even the highway to get flooded. No. The pipe that I'm talking about is right now is about maybe 400-500 feet from my mom's house, but not once did we say we're going to swim in water and the pipe flooded. No. The one that I used to go swimming on is when you go into Mr. Soul place, they call it Carway. Beautiful big pipe. We'll go swimming at night, 12 o'clock at night. No flood. No flood. But because you knew exactly how much flow this pipe need to take. Our people don't do it anymore. They like to cut corners. And these are some of the reasons why we still have this issue. Mr. Nabwe, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Let me bring him on. Mr. Nabwe, thank you. Thank you for joining me. We appreciate it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. It's good to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I send the link out to the rest of the people, but they know the liberal. Usually they're scared of the liberal when he's hosting, and so
you have to excuse people like Mr. Bakona. You know he has a graduation going on.
Yeah, no. Bakona is a co-host. Bakona is we the one own the whole thing. Bakona myself. So no, but seriously, thank you for joining me. I was just going through with the process here of what is happening. The raining in Liberia, and the entire city seems to be flooding, Monrovia, pretty much. And I'm just explaining from an engineering perspective why these things are happening.
Right.
Okay. So when these people go and build, and I'll wrap it up and I'll come to you now. And when these people go and build on the waterway, because it's in the summertime, so the creek is dry. I'll give you an example. There's a creek right where the former Vice President, Madam Taylor, lives. I believe she lives on what is it? Sophie Ice Cream Road or something like that. not EW, but Catholic Hospital Road, something like that. I designed that, by the way. So when I did the design, it was dry, but I knew how much water was coming in that area when I did the area calculation. So I told the guy, I said, there'll be more. He said, hey, the thing dry right now. I said, don't worry, when it rains, the water we're going to take from the hillside and bring it in is going to be more. Oh, no, everybody over there fine. I said, okay. But I did my calculation. I told them everything, give it to them. When I went home, it rained one night. And I said, let me go visit that stuff. People were holding their property, standing on the creek bed, standing on the side. So the water will. I said, what happened? Oh, you're waiting for the water to go. Then tomorrow, whole night you're going to hold your things like that because they refuse to listen. And this is exactly what is happening all over the country right now. But that's not the main thing that I was going to be talking about. I just brought this issue up with the water on there. But my main subject matter here tonight will be food, rice, and what is happening to us. What's on your plate, Victor?
Well, thank you very much. I was coming and listening in. I thought last night you said you came from Lofa. Is that total in Lofa?
You will give me a hot on the show. No, but when Dr. Malik comes in, he said all kind of stuff about president. So I said, saying that way, now he go to total. I'm moving to.
Well, I mean, there's so many issues right now that are in the news, but I'm following this whole emerging story of this recent retreat in Buchanan in Basel.
Yeah.
And yes, and first of all, I'm trying to understand the purpose that this retreat served, because there's not much that's coming out to us by way of briefing or whatever. So that concerns me. It just seems to be so many retreats happening. But then the cost to sponsor this retreat. First of all, um, if you're going to have a retreat in Buchanan City, right? Buchanan City is pretty bustling. It's a pretty metropolitan city, almost like Monrovia, Bogota, yeah.
Right.
So if you are going to Buchanan, you might as well, stay in Monrovia to have this retreat, because you're looking for a quiet place, where you have the opportunity to think, and spend time with your colleagues, get to know each other, and then you can drill down on some of the policy issues that are on the table. And this government is faced with a lot of issues right now on the table. I mean, the whole question of the rice has not been settled. I believe gasoline is right behind this. I don't know where the hell there's so many issues. So one would have hoped that these are some of the things that the retreat will address, but we don't know because nothing has been told. And then there's the whole cost associated with the process. At one point we heard, 275,000, and then we heard, well, some of that money is for legislative visits. I mean, the legislature already have, the senators are in control of $150,000, I believe. And the representatives, I think, are administering 100,000 each.
Yeah.
So now, in addition to that, I was just shocked when I heard one of the senators saying there is $800 and something in the budget also per month that they're also supposed to be giving for legislative visits. I don't know what that means. So when you total that out, it comes pretty close to $10,000. But this money was given coincidentally at the time of the relief. Everything was just kind of commingled. So which of this money really went for the retreat, and how much of it was whether the reimbursement or whatever it is. Just so much confusion. Then I read on the website of some of the senators, including Senator Amara Coney, announcing that only $50,000 was spent on the relief. So where does the truth lie? And I'm hoping that hopefully through the Ministry of Information, we'll get to unearth the truth. So why this is going on, I understand there is also one coming up that is going to be held by our legislators in the House. So it just seems that retreat after another. Even the one that was held recently by the executive with the infamous,
Yeah.
PowerPoint presentation. So that is on my mind. I'm hoping that in the coming days or so, there will be some clarity as to what is happening.
So
So
let's
this
discuss.
legislature, just before I land, the rescue team, it looks like it is starting to look like a balloon. You put you when you inflate, you put air in a balloon, you squeeze it, it comes out from one other side. There's just so many things popping out of here. We had really thought that this team came to rescue us, but this looks like business as usual. The $45,000 for a vehicle every 3 years. Um, and then at the end of the third year, where do these vehicles go? Are they sending them to GSA? Are they paying for them? We remember the story with the police director, of course. I think one of those cars was sold to him for I think $2,500 or something like that. Where can you ever go to get that kind of street deal? So if we really seriously want to address our problems at home, I think we need a little bit more patriotism, a little bit more commitment, a little bit of sacrifice. I don't see that much sacrifice happening right now. I don't see it.
So let's discuss your what's on your plate a little bit in depth. What for me, what I see happen as you correctly stated, many of these people they go to university, pay money to go to university, and they swore on whatever it is that I will make sure I get back my money once the opportunity is there, because government is the only employer in the entire country that will pay money like that. So they're able to manipulate the system, get into politics, and become senator or representatives, and that's it. That's all they need. But I'll give you an example. They do not have their heart is not for Liberia. That's clear. It's manifested in how they go about doling money out. Just a few days ago, my daughter, who's getting ready to go to a university, I took her to the university, and she went to register for classes and things. So coming back, I said, okay, now you're registered now. You say you want to do clinical psychology or whatever it is. They don't pay much. Why won't you smart? Why won't you do engineering?
Right.
Why won't you go, since you're gonna do that, go and do medical doctor or something like that? And she just looked at me and said, but that's what my passion is. It's not about money. If I go and take something that I'm not really, I don't like really, and because of money, how long can that last? I said, you'll
Right.
be happy with the money. She said, no, you go ahead and be happy with your money and you will share with us. But I want to do something that I will be able to love to do, and I'll be able to go to work, face myself in the mirror, and be able to say, yes, this is what I want to do. And not many of those people over there have that in them. Why would you're going for a retreat? Whatever it is that you are doing, Liberians, and CDC just got whooped. They're all anxious to get any kinds of bad news when you guys gathering together. Whatever it is you're gathering about, they just want something bad to come out of it, so they will run with it. And you have the like of M.R. Conner. You have the like of my own sister, Madam Lawrence, the pro-temp. You have all those people that everybody was gravitating towards it.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to a retreat. If there's a certain amount of money that's going to be spent, put it up. Have a press conference.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do, and this is the amount of money that's going to be spent. So even if people are bashing you at that time, you have already given them the true information. They can only complain. People are dying. How can you pay yourself? Or you're doing this thing here and doing what? But if you can give some good justification, there will be some people that will be on your side. But when you do it as though you have a company, fly by night company, and people get hold of it, and you're not saying nothing, they will improvise. And when they do that, whatever information they put in there in between, it will hurt you.
Yeah.
And Liberians are turning against these people that they thought were going to be the best to help us.
Yeah.
The question many Liberians are asking right now is, why do we even bother taking President Weah? And this is what I keep telling my friends. And I'm not a member of Unity Party, but my friends who supported President Baka. Don't forget, President Baka didn't win this election from my perspective, not because of his strong policy that he put forward, Liberian enjoy and Liberian light, not because of his leadership ability. We believe that, but many Liberians don't. Not because of his 40 some more years of experience. He won the election because of angry vote.
Absolutely.
Was President Weah and his people. And if you're going to go into an election and depend on angry vote, those angry vote, how long can you be angry about? Before you know, those same people that are angry today will not turn around. And President Weah is the most loved person in the Republic of Liberia. He's popular. He's well loved. If this guy have not put himself around, surrounding himself with all these sycophants and thieves and stuff like that, President Weah would have won re-election. But the people fell within themselves that President Weah and his people have disappointed them. And they saw within President Baka someone who they believe is not working. What President Baka want? He ain't coming here to come dress. He ain't coming here to come look for a woman. He ain't coming here to come run around with, but going to the flying the way and that way. So this old man has done his part. He just want to help us, and through that, and people believe in our rescue slogan.
I'm one of those who really, really, really believe.
Yeah.
And this is even though I'll be honest, President Baka was not my first choice. I supported the presidential bill of Alex Cummings, but once we settled on him, you are not
the only intellectual that was truly behind that. So you're not alone. Yeah. There were lots of highly educated Liberians who believe coming to because coming has
because Mr. Joe, I tell you this. Look, we have to take our feelings out of elections. You understand me? We got to take our emotions out of elections. The election have nothing to do with you liking the president or not. You're looking for competence. You're looking for the ability to do the job. Right now, Liberia is faced with very, very difficult problems. You understand me? You need a very, 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 very ready, very, very capable, very, very competent person to take us out of war. Unfortunately, I did not think President Baka was the person to do that, and look where we are today. But then on the other hand, once he became president,
let me push back a little bit, and this is how I'm going to push back. Not because I supported President Baka, but the issue for me is that President Baka understood the problems. If you listen to some of his interview, he laid them out.
Yeah.
And he laid out processes that's going to be needed to fix these things. But he cannot do it by himself.
Yeah.
And many of these people that were touching the horn, we get it, we'll do this, we'll do that, just lies, complete lies.
Yeah.
And when the president put them in power, they got nothing to show for. And it's very sad. It's very sad. Because President Baka is coming to take us out of this hole. That President Weah and his bunch of malakis, he called them. That was a term he used. President Weah turned malakis, whatever it was, But these people have nothing to offer except to put us in a hole. And President Baka is now trying to get us out. But guess what? He cannot use a shovel alone and use water at the same time.
But you see, I tell you this, Mr. Toe. The mark of a good leader, right, is, of course, nobody expects you to become managing director of Water Sewer, managing director of LEC, managing director of Manitown. Nobody expects you to do all of that, right? You have to have that capacity to delegate. You must be able to find and identify competence. And there are yardsticks, there are yardsticks you can use to identify competence. You should be able to delegate. You should be able to find the people who are capable of doing the job. And this is what I think, this is what most of us are not seeing. I was saying to you, once Ellis Cummings did not become president, a number of us said, well, you know what? We think President Walker may not be a bad choice because of some of the things that you said. He's not anxious again to enrich himself. He's seen everything, he's done it all. And plus he may not be running for a second term order. So all of these temptations we thought were already far gone. They were already in the rear view mirror for this president. And so then we said, you know what? Okay, this may not be a bad choice at all. Let's see what this president will do for us. And so now he comes in and like you're saying, probably because of the coalition that he came into office with, I don't know if he's getting the right advice or he's not getting it, or he's getting it, he's refusing it. But there's something that there is a mismatch between what we think this president is capable of doing and what is actually coming out of the executive mansion. I mean, look at the whole appointment thing, the way it was handled. And yet, this is probably one of the easiest things that should have been, very easily dealt with. But look, we're almost 6 months in, and the appointments are not even over yet. The government has not been formed yet completely. So now you have all of these policies snafus. The Minister of Commerce comes out and announce, an increase in the price of rice. Did he consult the president? Who knows? So now the president has to popularly go and reverse the minister. Right. And that's not all. So we have all of these things happening, and we really think these are really minor things compared to the problems, the myriad of problems that we have to deal with. We're spending way too much valuable time trying to deal with very minor things, and the major things are left untouched. Right. The question, right, this is a very fundamental, very, very difficult political question. That question has not been addressed yet.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you in that. I agree with you in that. You should be able to delegate as a leader. Nobody expects you, but you find people who have the will within them to do what is needed to move certain things at certain position. But here's what I'm going to say, and I've tried that for the last 2 days, except for these conservatives on here that will come and drum me out. They come and ambush my show and drum me out and stuff like that.
Excuse me 1 second. I look like I have a little emergency.
That's fine. I've been doing that here too myself. Go ahead. You can just take yourself off, and I will continue with the statement. When you're ready, you join us back. So, okay. So while we're waiting for him, let me just go ahead with 10 things that I was saying here. I think the fact that he's conservative, none of them is joining me tonight, gave me the opportunity to stress this more. As many of you are listening to me here as well. Now, Nabe is quite correct. The president must be able to point out people to do these things. I agree. But folks, I'm not trying to relitigate the issue of transitional process. But anything, if you don't do it from the beginning, if you don't get it right from the beginning, and you think that you're just going to bluff your way through, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. When you cut yourself, and like I said, I'm from the countryside, I use a brush. So when you cut yourself, my pa fly by night medical doctor. So you can put penicillin on there. And the penicillin, before next day, it's all dry, but inside still hurt. And it's just a matter of time. You go, because the penicillin now seal the place up, you go hit anything, you start crying. It's the same thing here. What I thought would have happened during the transitional period, and I'm holding them responsible for all of the mess, for all of these mess. Because many of these people that were involved, not just from President Baka's side, even from the outgoing government, they are people who are highly educated. But specifically from President Baka's side, there were those who came in specifically vindictive behavior. They were not coming in to hear what is happening. And for me, as a transitional member of the transitional team, especially in government, your main job is to document. You are not there to prosecute. You are there to document. So you will be able, for me, from my perspective, it's like a bridge. You're building a bridge between the outgoing and the incoming. Now, if you come in with your vindictive behavior, the outgoing representatives say, oh, that one people come for? Okay. Let's see where they'll get this thing from. And y'all know, like, y'all know us. Oh, that what you want? I'll see. Wow, I'll see if I'll give it to you. Sir, you go find it yourself. And they start putting roadblocks on the way. Because of that, we heard, when they used to call the transitional team member name, oh, yeah, they want tough. You will get CDC hard time. The hard time business were up to, but some of us didn't even see it at the time. We thought these people were going to, but the issue was the fact that they were not able to collaborate with the outgoing transitional team to tell them where things are. Because if they have done that, this is what I'm getting to. If they have done that, if the outgoing government transitional team have pointed out to them all of the places where to find the spoon, because I like to eat, where to find the spoon, the fork, and everything else, then they will not be concentrating in where to find the spoon and the fork because they already know. They will now concentrate on the incoming and what are some of the things they need to do so that the incoming will stand on what the outgoing have given them. What do we say government is? Continuity? This is what it is. But because you came in with a specific idea of trying to degrade and trying to find fault or trying to find thievery, that's not your job. So when they did that, they did not have the opportunity now to vet those people who are going to be leading these different agencies and ministries. In fact, they have a system where it's a cluster. And many of these people that were leading these clusters were people who later on became ministers of these different clusters. What do you expect? Are these clusters here going to vet themselves? We are not serious. We are not serious. Nowhere in the world that you will go and take a big position as such and not be vetted. Nowhere. Not only will they look at your CV, they will call your former employer to say your employee, we got a member of your former employee here. Did he do this? Did he do that? Let me bring on my way back on. And then the former employer will say, yes, when he was here, he used to do this, he used to do this, he used to do that. Based on those type of information, you will be able to say, okay, because then the position itself also have terms of reference to say when you're going to do this position, these are things you will be doing.
Correct.
A to Z. So based on the vetting process, the vetters, the people who are doing the vetting will say, okay, this is the information we got from your former employer. Do these information match your capability of performing at this level?
Absolutely.
We didn't do that.
Absolutely. And I think this is where the president's first real major problem began.
Well, the president got bamboozled. For me,
this president could have called on a real crack professional team of lawyers, doctors, accountants.
But let me say this here. When he was here, when he came to visit after the election,
right?
One of the rumors that was going around, coming to some of us that we talk to people, that he was in the process of getting older folks that used to run these ministries but I no longer have interest in going to government or anything.
Right.
But he just wanted them to lead the process of vetting these young people. So when the people back home, these young people themselves, many of them, when they find out
Yeah.
the amount of resistance they put up in the party headquarters, it was not easy.
Of course.
So President Baka didn't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
He had to let that go.
Yeah.
And so when these people, these ministers and other people started vetting themselves.
Yes.
Oh, I'm qualified. You put me to the position. You know, this is my.
So you have a senator who is going to confirm a nominee,
right?
And recommending the nominee. Then of course the nominee comes to the hearing and get confirmed.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, so that was one of the first wrong move that I thought the president made. Then he doubled down and surrender. I kind of outsourced.
Number, be careful. This is my president we're talking about here. So try to not use the word double down and stuff like that, please. That's the.
But Mr. To, I mean, honestly, look, let me tell you this. Some of the guys in the government are my best friends. Some of them, even when I go to Monrovia, we hang out. You understand me? So I know sometimes they're uncomfortable with some of the things. But only your best friend, the guy who loves you, will look in your eye and tell you, Mr. Tu, you made a mistake here. Because they want you to correct that. And that's what some of us are doing here. I really want this government to succeed. I really do. But they're making it very, very difficult for us to sit by and say, you know what, let's call them a slack. They've been over 6 months now. What is the significant achievement that this government can talk about? 6 months now in. What is it that is so remarkable that they have done? You're just showing the roles before I came on. I'm not an engineer, but from what you were saying, and looking at the role, even those of us who are not engineers, those are some of the things we were saying from the picture we saw. They're just grading the road and clearing the top of the place when the rain season comes.
That's it. There's nothing special.
And for $22 million.
Yeah, for $22 million. For $22 million.
$22 million.
It's very sad. And once again, this particular picture that I show you, if you were to go on Guinea's the Minister of Public Works page, you will see this role. And he was very proud to put it up.
Of course.
How will you put something like this up? First of all, they're still working on it. That's for sure. But the process itself is faulty already.
Yeah.
And
I heard you trying to cut your cousin a slack. I think you say he's your cousin. You're not an engineer. And I get that. I say, the liberal man, he needs to bugger up. So here's the thing. If I am the Minister of Public Works, and maybe I'm an accountant, or I'm not an engineer, right, Mr. Tu? The first step I do is to surround myself with engineers. Get the people who know the job. Let them advise you.
He has some of the best. He has a young kid over there. They call him Isaac V. Jr.
Okay.
One of the best geotech guy we have. I mean, I've seen some of his reports. When I went home the last time, there was a project. I'm not going to go deep into it, but there was a project that I was assigned to help to build, to design.
Okay.
And this project involved water. They want to drive the trucks on a revetment and stuff like that. So that's fine. We can do that. But coming back from the water side, coming out, you got to be on the ground. So the young man gave me some report, and I was reading his report. And I could say this young man is right here in California giving me a report, the same type of report we have. They're very smart people. They have the other young guy, they call him Prince Tama. Prince Tama used to be with African Development Bank Engineering Department. So he was the one that would do all of the engineering review, all of the contracts with African Development Bank in terms of role and things. So he had Liberia, Gambia, and I think one other country that he was chief of. But my understanding, President Baka specifically asked African Development Bank to loan Prince Tama to the public work, and he's only going to be there for 3 years. After that, they're going to take him back. Now, and Prince Tama is just like a little brother to me as well. But he's a very qualified, good engineer. You would think Gideon would bring these people around him and have conversation.
Right.
What are we doing here? Let them educate you.
Exactly.
But your minister, I bet you most likely Prince Tamba did not even approve him putting this picture up.
Right.
If you were to consult Prince Tamba will tell you, say, you minister, don't put this picture up.
Right.
But those are the kinds of stuff we have.
Yeah.
They are not ready to accept. What's his name? Donald Rumsfeld used to say, you have to have the ability to know that you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know.
Yeah.
But many people, they don't do that.
No.
Yeah. When he had the confirmation, well, all you can say, I'm not an engineer, but I can learn, and I have worked with engineers before, so I've seen it, the way they do business. Remind you now, he has another buddy. They call him Judy Moore. Judy Moore was the minister of public works after Mr. Smith left. Judy Moore told the people in the House of Representatives that the concrete love water. And since Liberia have 6 months of rainy season, therefore the entire row of Liberia must be concrete. And I'm thinking, and then the example he used, look at the bridge piers and the columns, they sit in the water. No, the design process, they're different. They don't carry the same design criteria. But he has no clue. So because of that, you're going to make that kind of ridiculous statement.
Right.
And these are the same people that's still going on. So I don't know when we're going to get out of this. But what they do that I notice is when people start running the campaign season, these people latch on themselves onto these political leaders.
Yeah.
And say, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. And forgetting, President Baka knows them well because they used to work in the president office, not President Baka, but in Madam Sali office, because Gideon and what's his name, I believe they were in Madam Sali office as head of the president special project coordinators, know, and then just took them like that. But that's not an issue.
Yeah.
You would think Unity Party at this time, why would you be struggling? This is the Unity Party that was in power for 12 years.
Yeah.
Why can you go and dust off some of these policies that you guys have written that brought Liberia from that position?
Absolutely.
Why?
And now they have the benefit of hindsight. They know now where they went, where they know where they went wrong, what mistakes they did. And they now had that opportunity to avoid these mistakes. But that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. Yeah.
No. What you would, I thought during the campaign, I was under this serious impression that the Unity Party and President Baka had already had their, I don't want to say government in waiting, but they have already done all of their vetting of who's supposed to be at certain position, what have you, that people have already said, okay, you're going to be doing this, but that was not the case.
But I tell you this though. Talking about that, when I was on the Yola delegation to meet with the president, I believe this was in May or so. We met him in Atlanta.
Who president?
President Buckeye when he was when he was in Atlanta. One thing he said, which I still think will come to pass, was he said, we came to power through a coalition, and so right now I'm appointing people, some of whom I don't even know.
Yeah,
you understand me? I'm appointing people, some of whom I don't even know. But I can tell you this: within 6 months or so, there will be a cleanup. So I think there is a reshuffle or something down the pike that's coming pretty soon.
Oh, it will. It will.
Yeah, I think right now he's trying to appease the base, the coalition. But I'm really kind of still hopeful that sooner or later this president will find his voice, and he will find his footing. But right now, what we're getting is not the government that a lot of us anticipated.
Right.
They're feeling in many respects, in many different ways. And for a government that like we just said, that already has 12 years behind them, for a president who has been in government for such a long time, we're kind of we're I'm confused.
So,
It's just mind boggling.
so you're quite correct. What is happening, and I think I stated that here the other day. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Those serious rescue members, the real rescue team, they're just sitting by, and they will be called, and you will see the changes that they will be bringing on board.
Yeah.
Those you have right now, political hacks. That's okay. Can't taste this, and you ran, you went the way that way. Council, you'll be this and that. But those people are going to have to excuse themselves.
But mind you, though, the honeymoon is almost running its course now, because in another year or so, those who will be juggling for 2029, I mean, some of them are already beginning to plant their flags,
Yeah,
Pretty soon,
that's is the problem for them right now.
yeah,
Because with these kinds of news that is coming from the Senate, from the House of Representatives, being five finger with the Liberian pool money and what have you,
yeah,
including the current vice president, they're going to have to find means to fine tune themselves
yeah.
within the next 1 year or so. Because if this thing continue like this, President Weah will be re-elected easily.
It is very possible.
Easily.
It is possible.
Now, well, let's talk about your 1% guy. He could come back. And Liberians are like this. They mandate this is the second time, this is it. And even here in the Liberian community, the Liberian diaspora community, usually when you try to seek the presidencies of the section or county leadership and things like that, you don't win. The third time they will elect you.
It is possible.
You go the first time they didn't win. Second time you win. The third one they will put it. Say, hey, man, trying too much. Y'all let's give it to you. Let's see what you do. The same thing in Liberia. The same thing in Liberia. The president.
But I would hate for Alex to be elected on a protest vote like this current president was, because I really believe, yes, this current president, a lot of people fell with experience and all of that. But like you said, some of the vote he got was because people got really frustrated with President Weah. And so, and they looked at Alex and saying, you know what, let's go with the experience and all of that. Even though Alex does really have some very, very serious.
I don't mean to relitigate this conversation, because that's something we the conservative myself went out here for a very long time. We had some Mr. Cumming group here. But I'm not one of those that can be pulled back in. But this was my argument at the time, and I truly believe, and I still believe that Mr. Cummings in the entire field was one of the best leaders. He has a good leadership ability, but he has never been connected to the voters.
Correct.
So I thought, at the time, and I got beat up here, but I'm liberal. What are people going to do me? They ain't with me anyway. So I thought, Cummings, I brought that up, and Cummings himself, I asked him when he was here in Sacramento. I went as a president, went there and asked him the same question. And he told me, if somebody don't try to have that conversation, I'm not going to be begging to be vice president. But here's the thing here. If Cummings comes back the third time, and wins, let's just, for example, he wins based on protest votes. It's just a matter of time within 6 months to a year, people will know the ability of Cummings to lead. Yeah. And you don't even have to wait for 6 years for people to start seriously running second campaign term for Cummings.
Yeah.
Once Cummings get into that executive marshal, Cummings going to go 12 years. Because he has the ability to lead.
Right.
He's not gonna bring praise singer around him.
So you're very right about that. I think the handlers, hopefully.
Mr. Nabil, let me just tell you something about this liberal. I'm also a political guru here on this platform, so please go ahead.
I recognize your prowess, but yeah. So The connection problem, I think, is a problem that Mr. Cummings did not master, and
Yeah.
and this is where I think the handlers, need to work harder, so that they need to find a way for him to connect with the people. He had the resources. There are things that we felt, he could have done, and I think those things were overlooked. So, hopefully this time around, people.
If Kumi were to win, I'm sure but it's 6 months into this, the like of Louis Brown would have been kicked out by now. There's no way Louis Brown would have last 6 months with Kumi. No way. Because they're not compatible. There's certain group of people that were around Cummings. It was just a matter of time before he kicked them out.
Well, I think this is the also the folly of the UP, strategist. The campaign is different from the government, right? Luis, and for full disclosure, Luis is my friend. We knew each other since high school days. So I don't know if Luis had any entertaining hopes of serving the government.
Okay.
He ran the campaign team. That doesn't mean the campaign team then automatically becomes the government. And I think this is what we're seeing almost. We're seeing even Luther Tappet, going to besiege the president.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And people crying, why is Mo Ali not in government yet? Why this person not in government yet? And it's just unfortunate for us Liberians, because that's how we interpret it. You fight on the campaign trail, and when the party wins, then we expect you now to be in the cream of the crop.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily have to be so. I mean, we over here, David Axelrod never took up any position. I don't think he did in the government, or maybe he became an advisor. But David Plouffe, I think, was never,
All right, I agree with you. But if if Kumi was to win and these people becomes member of the government governing body, I think there were so many of them that he was going to have issue with, because Kumi problem was he trusted these people without verifying their dirty political behavior in Liberia. He thought he could come in and based on his engaging power to engage people and be truthful with them, not knowing that the people you were hanging with, they were not truthful people. And they were not about ready to be truthful with you. And that's why I think this whole, from my perspective, that's why this whole CPP issue fall apart, because Comey trusted, but he didn't verify, and he was not quite ready to allow his handler to say, these people, there's something else. Because if he were to verify, they went into the CPP merging process.
Right.
He and say, these are the rules, let's stick with those rules. But he allowed the trust in thinking that they were truthful just like he was. He said, okay, well, these people are truthful when we go, and, we go for primary or whatever. If a primary, they know. And once the people want me, they will say, no. These people were not about to give you any opportunity to get anything. President Baka made it clear by that time, President Baka, he served before vice president. I don't expect to go second, you know. But that's besides the point. This government here. Let's go back to this government. I think President Baka will succeed, because why? The fact that he's not in it to benefit himself is a plus for all of us.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has done it all, like you correctly stated. So I think all he needs to do now is to push back. And the reason why you're getting all of these hoopla people leaking out things and stuff like that, because I believe he has not yet totally been put in a bubble.
Right.
Because the President Baka was in a bubble, you won't hear no noise. Nothing with everything will just be okay. Whatever the president said, that's it. And they would
So
say,
here is another fundamental mistake that I think the president made, right? And this is nothing against Greg. Greg is, Greg has. I knew Greg. I'm not sure if he was a card carrying member of UPP, but I knew Greg
"Who's
from
great?
Sylvester Grisby.
Oh, Grisby,
I
okay.
know Greg from the foreign ministry. He's a nice guy. He's a seasoned diplomat. But to become the president chief of staff, right? You need someone who is gregarious. Someone who is
Right.
vibrant. Someone who will stay up, 18 hours, 20 hours, reading the reports and summarizing them. You wake up in the morning, you go with a one pager to the president. Mr. President, this is what we have. This is on the horizon. This is coming. This is what we're look at. For instance, the armed forces, the women thing. It
Yeah.
blindsided the president. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
So, Sylvester Grisby is, I understand he might be in his, 70s now. When does he, what time does he have to sit down and read the presidential daily briefing?
But
Right. And say, okay, Mr. President, to simplify all of that information and present it to the president in a manageable and actionable fashion. That's the kind of chief of staff I thought he would have.
So,
right?
Honorable Namwe, your point is correct. But this was the same behavior. What's his name? Nathaniel McGill was behaving towards the president.
Right.
These people would take this position and use their friendship against those who appointed them.
Right.
Now, you, chief of staff, you know very well you do not have the ability now to, not that you're not smart, but you can't stay up 17, 18 hours. You have to sleep. You have to catch
Yeah.
disease. So you'll be
Yeah,
ready
that's
for the
true.
next. So because the president
and
has
you
a
gotta
disease.
sleep until 10 in
Right.
the morning,
So the way you do it, and this is where I believe those people that didn't have the opportunity to grow up in a village of the village, they have problems. Because if I was in that, back in the village, when you go brush, crowd of people going to go brush, you got this man who can be sinking. He's
Yeah.
way out there. You got that thing, blow it, but you'll be sinking.
Yeah.
And in the song, he will come to you and say, he call your grandfather, he
Yeah.
call your father, then he go on your mom's side. All the people he named, then he would say, these
Yeah.
people used to be good in brushing, but look, you can't even cut a stick. By the time he calls your name,
Yeah.
you're ready to do just about
You're ready to do anything.
anything.
Yeah.
This is where you come in, like a grace tree. You bring young person, somebody who's young, who has the ability, and you stand behind that person and keep pushing and say, let's go, I'm behind you. But that person will be able to do the night work for you.
Yes. Yes.
In the morning before you come meet the president, you and that person put your thing together. The person have
Absolutely.
already summarized. Then you say, okay, based on my experience, these are things we need to take to the president.
Yes.
But they don't want to do that.
So Mr. Grisby would have done a very good job in an advisorial role, but not the active, chief of staff. They
Even
need,
if you're chief of staff, even if you're chief of staff, get some young man
Get
who
some
will
young
not be
blood.
assuming.
Yeah.
Somebody who will be willing to do the work in the background. And you're
Exactly.
chief of staff, that's
Exactly.
fine. But you cannot be the chief of staff, the president, as a friend, and not able to tell him the truth.
Correct.
You're hurting not just him, but you're hurting all of us.
Yeah.
All of us. And yes,
How is it the president did not know that his Minister of Commerce
yes,
was going to make a major
major
announcement? How is
Yes.
that?
Yes.
So
Yes, and it all falls to him. So when you do those kinds of stuff, like I was just about to say, these young people that are minister and everybody else, they are sophisticated nowadays, and they are able to manipulate the system.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, first of all, you go as a chief of staff who is much older than them. First thing you need to be friend with them.
Yeah.
To have a clear understanding where you guys coming from. That yes, indeed, this process we're here to win. And if any of you want to do this to promote yourself. This is not your job.
Yeah. And
You
don't forget that the intra party rivalry for 2029.
yeah.
Yes, I mean, I'm not going to accuse anybody, but yes, the people who might be interested in making the president to look weak and incompetent, so that they will have the opportunity to rise up and shine a few months down the road. I mean, we're seeing some of it already. So that is happening.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Let me
and
just make an announcement. Again, folks, Samson Toll, I'm here this evening with Honorable Nagbe, who's giving us a wonderful, wonderful information. And if you guys believe the blind is leading the blind, so be it. But I think the conversation is going strong tonight because we do not have the far right conservative Fox News group. They are not here to disturb us coming in and practicing their PhD on LPR while having a wonderful, wonderful conversation. So call it whatever you may. But we are having a good time here. Now we go ahead before I open the line.
Yeah, no, I was simply saying, the president, he really has his job cut out for him. So we have this question we were discussing about, young blood and vibrant young people, innovative. You'd be shocked how much this president in the Western world do on Twitter and on social media. But our people in Monrovia, some of them think social media is still child's play.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them, have real social media accounts, but I mean, major developments happen on Twitter, and I don't know who is the president of social media czar in the executive mansion. It took them a while for the press secretary to start addressing the. So those are some of the things that I think. So yeah, go ahead and take your pause.
Take the color. What's your color? I haven't even put a number up there. You call it already. What's on your mind? Go ahead. Walter Carter, are you there? So how did he get color? Walter Carter, are you with me? Okay, hold on. I don't know why. Oh, the device got disconnected. Okay. Walter Carter, are you there? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. Tool and Brother Namwe? How's everything going? I can't appear it.
Just remember, I got your new phone.
Oh, Mr. Tool, you way past that now. We already know where you are. So just give us a chance to express ourselves.
Go ahead.
No. So I mean, I've been listening to the conversation, and I like the piece where you guys talk about Mr. Cummings, and I was sitting in some very, very important Liberian gathering. I mean, Liberians that have a lot.
Wait a minute, we'll talk about that. Liberian gathering, what be important? They swallow fufu and eat and drink pepper soup. What you might important? Go ahead.
Relax, not total gathering. Yeah, no.
Those are the important sessions, man.
Right.
If President Weah is not running, who next? Who can come in and fill in that gap? And I was fast to say, oh no, Mr. Cummings, and if because Sedition said if President Weah is not in the race, they were going to vote for Mr. Cummings, and the people who are connected to Mr. Cummings, people who felt Cummings would be the next president, and they were giving me their feedback. And one of the things they said really resonated with me, and it's sad because I see Liberians that have the opportunity or were fortunate to succeed, especially when they have a lot of money. They distance themselves from our Liberian community in the diaspora. You don't see them like I will see Mr. Tu, I will see Mr. Victor. I guess Mr. Nangbe you don't even know that I'm part of the Yola. I'm on the board of Yola. And they just won a recent election where you got all this thing going, the people from Georgia and all that thing going, with the confusion in Yola, we were trying to resolve it and all that. But I see Liberians come together for all walks of life. So you will see people like Mr. Nangbe identify himself with the Liberian community. He fully involved in Liberian community, regardless of his social status. Unfortunately, that is not the case with Mr. Cummings. You have to sell yourself, even though you are well-to-do Liberian. It does not take away your Liberianness. You know what I'm trying to say? It does not make you not to even be Liberian. And that's the thing that our people are faced with. On one hand, they want to be a Liberian. On another hand, they don't want to be a Liberian. And when it comes to this bigger power where we are looking for leaders, now there's somebody jump out of the woodwork and say, I want to be president. But now nobody even know you. Nobody know you. Because the people that are supposed to vote for you, you have never interacted with them before on a very low scale. So you go up higher. And that's one of the things I think Liberians should learn from Kumi's mistake, especially well-to-do Liberians should learn from Kumi's mistake and start getting more involved in our Liberian community initiative. Come to our function, make yourself available. If you have any kind of political aspiration and all that kind of stuff, make yourself available among the Liberian community, and let us see who you are. And then maybe when you say, okay, I won't run for this position in Liberia, we can say, yeah, this man, we know we can vouch for him. On another hand, I hear my own liberal, right? Liberal, you stop making Mr. Bwaka look like he's innocent or he's not the cause, and you're shifting blame on his deputy.
My battery dying.
Mr. Bwaka is the most experienced person in our nation when it comes to politics, according to you guys. His transparency is it passed none. Nobody in our Liberian society has the kind of transparency Mr. Bwaka had. The integrity, nobody got the integrity. So you put this man there, but every little thing now you're trying to distance him from what is happening in his government, the failure of his government. You're trying to distance him. No, Mr. Bwaka is the one that is.
Thank you, God. Thank you very much.
Let me get rest.
I got over 5,000 people on the line waiting to talk. So thank you.
Let me just end in 2 seconds. He's the one that's steering this ship called Liberia, and he should be blamed. He should be able to move our country in the direction that we expect him to. Nothing short of that, because he is the man that Liberian put your soul to us, that he's capable of doing it. So you don't put blame on his deputy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. That's CDC for you right there. They talk something good before you low proof, they not flip on you. And he's a highly educated person. Why would he say something like that? Who said, why would say President Biden ain't got the experience? It's documented. He has the experience. So what would we say that it's not true? But anyway, that's CDC for you. Let me put my note. I don't want, because as soon as we're call the next person that will be breakable. I'm putting my number down. Okay. But anyhow, on a very serious one, Jerry, we're almost trying to close. Go ahead, Victor. Go ahead, give us your closing.
No, I think Mr. Ketter, I didn't know too that he's involved with the local unit chapter. He's a very intelligent guy. For the little time that I've appeared with him on set, he's pretty intriguing. Actually, it's most of all of the panelists here so far. So, we may disagree on methodologies, especially in our choice of leaders to support. But I am glad to call him a colleague on the Yola team. We believe that the union can do a lot of good for our people, and that's what we intend to do. So we're going to cast our net as wide and far as possible, bringing all the best, in spite of what side of the aisle you might be on, but that's what we intend to do. And that's what we intend. We're hoping that government in Liberia will also do. It shouldn't just be, rewarding, parties towards, rank party, program partisan in Liberia, party rank and file. Because look, at the end of the day, the president's legacy is on the line. Nobody's going to remember, Sylvester Grisby tomorrow. Nobody's going to remember, Mo Ali, but they'll remember Joseph Boakai as the president of the Republic of Liberia at this point in time. So he has to really, really look as far beyond just the party rank and file, and reach out to people like you said. There may be a lot of people here who may just be ready to advise without any expectation of any reward in government or whatever it is. But yeah, these are people who have a lot of experience, who have done most of what is happening in Liberia. Most of the problems in Liberia are very common, and a lot of people are dealt with these kind of problems. We just haven't been able to deal with them. The question of the roads, you talk about that a lot today. Moravia is flooded all the time because, like you said, our city ordinance is broken. There is no, there's no, we don't our mapping, it's archaic, where we had drainages, people have gone and built on top of these things, and so yeah, they're clogged. We need to find a way to open up this. There's some pretty innovative ideas that some young fellows have around who can help us. So it shouldn't just be, because this person was there 12 years ago, and so let's bring them back. Try something different, try something new.
But let me ask you this, Nawe,
Yeah.
from your own perspective, do you think that within the next 20, 30, 40 years or so, Liberia will be changed?
I really think so. Look, even now today, Liberia is way different than it was even 6 years ago or 12 years ago. You now have the social media age. It's really because of social media that some of the things we're getting to learn about now have been happening in government for a very long time. But now the new age of the social media is exposing some of these. That's how we know, for instance, that so much money was expended on a retreat in Buchanan. So I think the events will compel us to embrace change. I think Liberia will be better. I'm very hopeful. I think that we can't afford to get locked in the old age. I think yes, I think Liberia will do that. I think there is really, 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 really good reason for me and I believe others to think in the next 10, 20 years we'll turn a corner. Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Nawe,
Thank you very much, my brother.
thank you very much. And let's do it
Yeah,
again
it's been a
tomorrow.
great evening, and thank you to our audience as well. You have a good one.
You too. Okay. Again, folks, Samson to Labrador Pabrito. I want to thank all of you again. And we still have about 5 more minutes. But let me see if I can utilize this opportunity since my show has not been uh Cultural Balaya, thank you for joining us. We appreciate all of you guys tonight. Since my show is unable, the conservatives on the show are unable to hijack my show tonight. Let me just say this. On a very serious note. The difference between us, those of us that supported this rescue train, I call the stabilizing process, and the praising of the circumference of the we-are-led government is that we well, Fatmata, if you're on YouTube, you should be able to see the liberal on YouTube as well. So, but because we're now just on Facebook, we're also on YouTube. But anyhow, so we're different. We still love this president. We still support this president. We still support the process or processes, whatever you want to call it. But if we see something that is not right, we will say so. For example, look at this. Let me show this road again. This is the road that is being constructed under this administration. But as an engineer, I look at this thing and I'm like, what's the point here? What the idea of a road basically is to transport, to take you from point A to point B. But the road itself must have the ability to influence the driver who is the person who's going to utilize the facility. The main objective of a road, the road must be designed. Number one, safety have to be taken into consideration at the top of it. Then the process of the design of the road and the building of the road must be able to be used to influence the decision-making process of the driver. Because if you don't, you're going to have accident all the time. Okay, this is a tangent. That means a straight road, no curve here until you get all the way to the east, Jesus over there. But that's not even the issue. You see the shining mark on that road, that clay. The one on the left-hand side, that not native soil. But that's not even the issue for me. It's the drainage. They're going to mess this beautiful road they're putting out there. As you can see, the road is not that much lower than the top soil. There's no grass on the side. And I bet you that whole area, you see the palm tree, they don't grow much of the palm tree like this. They don't grow in desert area. They grow into the wetland area. So this is not something that is hillside. But the main thing that you have to provide, the gutter have to be deeper than the top of the road. The gutter have to be deeper than the center part of the road. They have a system where they say, okay, well, you're going to go 2%, then 5%, and what have you. So what's going on with stuff? I hope I'm audible. Hold on, folks.